Hello friends, I'm here today to share with you an idea that I saw on Rachel Reads and Sings channel. She went to her Goodreads and separated out her read books by the average rating and then chatted about the ones that were the highest rated. So that is what I'm going to do today. This is the best books that I've read according to Goodreads. So I tried not to do too many repeat authors, but there are some that it's different series, so I wanted to chat about the different series. So there are a couple of repeats, but it's not, I don't think it's too many. I tried to separate it out a little bit more. So, some of them I'm going to be able to get to on my shelves and the others I'm not going to be able to. So the first one, the actual highest rated book other than like a Harry Potter book, which I just didn't want to chat about because everybody knows about that at this point. The highest rated romance on my Goodreads is The Reality of Everything by Rebecca Yarros. Now, this one has a 4.56 rating on Goodreads, and I gave it a 4 star. So like I can see kind of why it's up there, but it's nowhere near even like the best Rebecca Yarros book. So what I think happened on this one is that this is book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the series. It's at the bottom of a stack, so I can't get to it. But this is book 5 in a series. And I think what happened was books 1 through 4 came out, and then there was a bit of a break before this one came out. And I think it was just that people had to wait so long for this one. Like, it's a good book, but I wouldn't even say it's the best Rebecca Yarros book. So for it to be like the highest rated romance that I've read according to Goodreads blows my mind a little bit, not gonna lie. So there were 2 books that I had that were 4.55 ratings. The first one is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I gave this one a 2 star. This was about the time where I was figuring out that there was just too much going on in a Sarah J. Maas book, and I just didn't enjoy it. And I think the first, I don't remember what book this is in the series, but I think like the first one I rated pretty highly, and then everything after that was just downhill. I don't appreciate that she starts off with one love interest and then switches to a different one, like a couple of books into the series, and yeah. Sarah J. Maas is not for me, but I understand that a lot of people rate her books highly, so. The other one that is a 4.55 is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. I kind of get this one. I gave it a 3 star just because I didn't feel like Volume 1 had much happening in it. But I do kind of get it. I am interested in continuing the series. I just haven't ever actually done it yet, so. The third one actually surprised me. So with a 4.54 rating, average rating on Goodreads, it's Benching Brady by Samantha Christie. I feel like this was just a random KU pickup series, and I didn't really, like, think much of it. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I don't remember much about it. I remember that this is a baseball series, and that I really enjoyed them. I believe I gave them all 4 stars. But again, this was just a random one that I picked up on KU, and I was kind of shocked that it was rated so highly. The fourth one is one that I actually just read this month in July, and that is Running After a Heartbreaker by Jamie Albright. So this one has a 4.52 rating on Goodreads, and I gave it a 4 stars. I thought it was a really good read. A little insta-lovey. This was kind of a small town rock star single mom romance. So, I mean, like, it was good. I gave it 4 stars. Again, a little bit shocked that its average rating is so high. These next 2 are technically from the same series, but I wanted to talk about them because there's kind of a difference. So the first one is Wildfire by Alona Andrews. This one has a 4.5 rating. I gave it a 4 star. This is part of the first set of the Hidden Legacy series. Kind of a fantasy romance, urban fantasy. I don't really know exactly which one it might be. But then the next book is Emerald Blaze by Alona Andrews, and this is in the second set of, like, the first 3 books are about one couple, and then this is the second set of 3 books about a different couple. This one is a 4.49 rating, and I gave it a 5-star. I feel like this one should be higher. But yeah, it's got that same, it's that same type of book, but this one is just about the sister of the girl in the first set. And I'm hoping the finale of this trilogy should be coming out relatively soon, I think. I think sometime this fall. And then I want to know if they are going to write about any of the other siblings. So if you know that, let me know. There are 3 books tied for 7th place with 4.45 rating. The first one I have is Sentinel by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is in her Covenant series. My rating on Goodreads, I gave it 4 stars, and literally my rating on Goodreads says at least it's the end of the series. So, yeah. This is like a YA fantasy. I don't know. It's a bit dated. I don't think that it stood up to the test of time. There's nothing overly, like, problematic or whatever in it, but I just don't feel like it's something, like, you know how some, like, backlist books are, like, going viral now? I don't think that this would be a series that ever got that opportunity. I don't think it's that good. Also with a 4.45 is The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, and this one should be much higher. I gave this one 5 stars. It's still probably one of my, like, all-time favorites, and I'm devastated that it's only at a 4.45 and that it's tied with Sentinel by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I know that sounds terrible, but it's kind of, like, that's the first thing that popped in my mind is, like, how are these two at the same rating? Also at that rating is actually right here, Souls Unfractured by Tilly Cole. This is book 3 in her Hades Hangman series. This is Flamin' Maddie. I kind of expected this one to have a higher rating as well. I gave it 4 stars. I don't think I was in the right headspace when I read it, for how much is happening in this book. But I kind of feel like for the people I know of that have read this series, this is, like, way up there. And I'm kind of just surprised that it's only at a 4.45. But, like I said, there is a lot happening in it, so maybe that is bringing the rating down a little bit. But overall, I highly recommend this one. But you really need to read books 1 and 2 first. So, there are 4 books tied for 8th place with a 4.44 rating. So, the first one is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This was in her From Blood and Ash series. Book 2, I think. This is where it kind of started going downhill for me. I really enjoyed book 1. Book 2 was okay. And then book 3 was just really boring. So I've since DNF'd that series, but I don't see how Kingdom of Flesh and Fire has a higher average rating than From Blood and Ash. That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Another one that doesn't really make sense to me, Tin Queen by DEVNEY Perry. This is in her Clifton Forge series. It's way up there, so I'm not getting it down. How is this the highest rated one from this series, let alone as a DEVNEY Perry? Like, this is the last one in this series, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's just, like, the nostalgia of all of it coming together. But I don't understand this one. I don't understand it. The next one is Nitro's Torment by Nina Levine. Like I said, this was a 4.44 rated book. And I don't have a star rating on this one because apparently it says I read it in June of 2018, and apparently I just decided to not do star ratings in June of 2018. I don't know what happened. But I do not remember this book. I do not know what's going on. I read the synopsis and nothing sounded familiar. So here's this book. I don't know. Couldn't tell you anything about it. So the last one at a 4.44 is Lover Awakened by J.R. Ward. This is in the Black Dagger Brotherhood. I kind of get why it's so highly rated. I can't believe there weren't more of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series highly rated, but this one was, and yeah. So there are 2 for 9th place with 4.43 ratings. The first one is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is in her Lunar Chronicles. It's the last one. Again, I think it's just because it's the last in the series and it's all kind of coming together. I could see why this is highly rated. The next one is Someday Someday by Emma Scott. Like I said, 4.43. I gave this a 5-star. I gave Winter 5 stars as well. It made me cry. It was very emotional. There's a lot happening in this, but I highly recommend if you want something that's more emotional. And finally, the last one that I'm going to talk about today is Off the Record by Shel Sloan. This one has a 4.42 rating on Goodreads. I gave it a 3-star. She was a reporter and he's a professional football coach. And they kind of start something, and I thought it was good. I thought it was different, but I didn't think it was anything special, so I gave it a 3-star. So those are the highest rated books that I've read according to Goodreads. Have you read any of these? Let me know down below. Were you surprised any showed up? I definitely was when I made this list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!